Hey everyone, this is Shrikanth. In this video, I'm going to share about my history and my personal journey to reach Microsoft. So first thing is, I come from a small town in Karnataka called as Puttur, and I have been nearby this area. There was a village where I was there till my 10th standard, and then I actually moved to this place called as Puttur. Until then I was 50 kilometers away from that in a small village, and my story is not from money. So I don't come from wealth, I don't come from money. Neither of my parents are millionaires or anything of the sort, or we don't have ancestral wealth built for us. Both my dad and me, we are hard-working folks. Whatever we have today, we have built it ourselves by working hard, believing God, and working hard, true to our intention. From my LKG to first standard, LKG to 10th standard, I was in a school. It was nearby Kukke Subramanya temple in Karnataka, and I used to go wearing a raincoat with my dad for 15 kilometers in a mud road in a scooter, and I used to stand in front of him in this Bajaj Chetak scooter, and he used to take me, and there was heavy rains every day when we were going, and I was just standing there in the front of the scooter while he was facing the rain and trying to navigate to the school. Most of the days when I used to go to the school, I was either half wet and I was drenched in rain, Then from my first standard or second standard to 10th standard, there was a jeep service from this village to my school, and in a small Mahindra jeep, we were like 12 or 13 folks, or even probably more than that, I think, in the jeep, where everybody was like just enough space to sit and just enough space to actually survive inside of that. And again, the same story. In this area of Karnataka, it rains like half of the year, so we were almost always drenched in rain. Our bags or our notes would get wet and all these things, and that is where I studied till 10th standard. And many of the days there were small bridges which would get overflown, and that day we would either reach late to school or we would not be able to reach back in home in time, and all these things would happen, guys. So this is where I come from, and how I was brought up. One thing I constantly used to see my father do and learn from that is that he was a very hard worker. He always used to work 12, 14, 16 hours a day. We had a farm which we eventually had to sell, but we had a farm, and in that farm there was not enough water eventually, and he used to get up in the middle of the night, and he used to actually go at 2 in the night and change the sprinklers, if you might know, where a certain number of sprinklers were put up, and then he would go and change them and then again come back and try to get some sleep. Or he used to have these pipes which were connected to this low flowing water from the borewells, and where he used to actually spray that to the actual trees and plants, and that is how much of hard work we came through. Even then we faced a lot of losses, we faced a lot of loans, and then unfortunately we had to sell it. The point of this conversation is, we did not come from money, we did not come from wealth, we did not come from ancestral property. Even though we had ancestral property, we lost them due to certain circumstances and all these things. And so does it matter how or which kind of background you come from to be able to reach wherever you are? I don't think so. What matters is hard work, and that did not end there. It did not end there where I was working on moving ahead. It did not end there. Due to certain problems in my 11th and 12th, especially in the end of 12th, I could not get a great rank, and I ended up in a Tier 2 or Tier 3 college, JSS Academy of Technical Education in Bangalore, where I studied for 4 more years. And in these 4 years, I actually was not very productive. Even though I was, every now and then I was around the border of distinction or just above distinction, I ended up with some 69.8 percentage in my curriculum overall in my 8th semester. But I don't think I ever topped my college. I don't think I ever topped my college or even my class or even my batch for that matter. Forget even my batch, right? I did not even top my friends group. So that is where I come from, and I used to actually, I wasted a lot of time during my engineering, which I now look back. I'm 29 now, and I look back and I feel like, hey, probably I should have actually utilized my time better during my engineering, so that probably I could have cracked a top tech much earlier than when I actually cracked it. So that is about my history, what I did in my engineering, and then even after my engineering, right, I was roaming around, I was wasting time, I was not really serious. I was not really serious until I saw some of my friends, the same friends who I had in my college, were also in my first batch of joining Accenture. So while I joined Accenture, we had a friends group of 3 people. For the sake of this conversation, I'll not mention their names, but they were in the same GFT branch. I think it's called as Greenfield Training in Accenture. That's where we were still there. We were from the same batch, same class, and we were here as well. So it all felt normal. The point of this is the kind of people you actually revolve around is what you think is normal. Until you look around, you feel, hey, people are doing much more. Don't get me wrong, these folks are wonderful folks, and I'm glad and I'm blessed to have friends such as that. But we were all not serious, because YouTube was not in hype back then, nor was any other social media, like may it be Instagram or may it be any other social media, right, was not, or Facebook was not this much of in hype, because Jio had not launched this pre-4G, 5G or whatever is there now, the abundance of internet. We were actually looking back and forth to actually get, survive with this 1 GB of data for 30 days, not even for a day, 1 GB of data for 30 days, which was costing 255 rupees. The value of 255 rupees then is probably worth 500 rupees now or whatever, right? So it was a lot of money, and we did not have access to YouTube. We did not know what other people were achieving, what people are making out there in terms of money and all those things, So it was only when one of my friends actually cracked a package of 9 lakhs or 10 lakhs in Samsung, and he left the group. That is when I became serious. I was like, yeah, he's able to do. Why am I not able to do? Am I lesser than that? Or can I actually go ahead and actually try it out? Or will I be able to actually, gain a better package? Now I'm at 3.5 or 4 lakhs. Can I reach 10 lakhs too? Because 10 lakhs seemed or is actually a lot of money even now. And at that time I was like, if he can do it, why can't I? And then I started asking around folks, like what people are doing, how they're actually learning and all those things, because this guy I think probably cracked this job within the first 6 months of us joining Accenture. Until then I probably did not code much in my college. I did code whatever was required in electronics and communication, because I come from electronics and communication branch, and we were coding in the machine level language, actually coding in the boards, circuit boards. I don't even remember all those things right now, honestly, except for the C coding part. That is probably all the coding we did, except for some small projects and stuff. I was actually focused on building a lot of electronic circuit boards and all those things, because I was focused on getting to electronics and communication at that time. And then what happened, like I was like, okay, now it's 6 months down the line, and 2 months or 3 months went into GFT, and then it was 3 more months and I was put into some project where I was like, what should I do now? I don't know. How do I get into development? How do I get this kind of money? I was focused on, like, how can I get this money? How can I focus on getting a better job? So I asked around, and unfortunately at that point in time, guys, I actually envy kind of that you guys have so much of abundance of resources on the internet, and yet so many people don't use it. There is so much of information on the internet, yet people are not using it. And for me, I was looking for information. I was asking my seniors. That was the way things were back in 2016-17. and I was asking folks like, hey, how can I get into a better job? What did you do? But neither from my family nor from my far away relatives, nor in my college did anybody get to Microsoft at that time, or any top college. Nobody was in Amazon, Microsoft or Google or anything of the sort, and everybody was in Accenture, Cognizant, or probably one or two people went into Adobe. That's it. That is the max we saw. And we perceived that, hey, getting into Adobe is probably because of his or her luck. Oh, they got it because he was probably just special, or he just got lucky there. We were blaming the circumstances that, hey, we were not presented with this opportunity. He got the opportunity, and this went and on and on. But honestly, I don't think any of that was true, because I think getting into a company or getting into a good top tech, I wouldn't say there is luck, which I call as God, or you can call it whatever you want, but there is also a part of hard work. How much of hard work are you putting into it? How much of effort are you putting into it? What did you do to get there that you deserved? Or how much of work have you done that is more than the other 5,000 people who are applying to this one same job, that you top this 5,000 folks? So even while in the back, the olden ages, right? So probably if there was a competition, like for example, forget about the olden ages, right? Like just when you were a kid, if there is a running race, 10 people were going in a track, the person who was going ahead, you could see where you stand with respect to the rest of the competitors out there, and you'd be like, hey, I'm falling in third place, fourth place, probably I need to push myself harder to get to first place. But in this job, you really are in a black box, and you don't know how many people are actually applying for the same job out there, and you're always in a dilemma like, oh, okay, maybe I'll get it, maybe I'm doing my resume right, because you don't know what the other person is actually doing, and that is going to be the reality you will have to live with. But what can you do to make yourself so much better? So look around yourself. Are you topping your friends group? Are you actually topping your friend circle, your college, your class, and even your friends group? If you're out of college, are you actually topping them, or are you trying to be the best among that group? If you're best among that group, then get into the next one, where look into other people who are actually doing better there and try to move ahead. That's how you will find that, hey, you will eventually get into being number one in this 5,000 people who are actually applying for the job. That's when you'll get it. But there is always a part of luck, or effort, God, and whatever you call it, to get there. But that is not in your hands. What's in your hands is actually the hard work, right? So I just wanted to that's one of the reasons why I actually created this channel, so that I can actually help folks, and I actually can help guide folks with how can you actually get there. It's not just the IITians or the people from IIM who can get into top tech. A person with hard work can also get there, and I believe myself, and I'm thankful that I have become that example, where you can prove that, where I could prove that anybody can get into top tech. So I think you can do it. I think if you put in the right hard work, just grind for the next 6 months, disappear from everything, put away the distractions, uninstall your Instagram, uninstall all the unnecessary things that you don't need. Just keep those resources like your Telegram or your LinkedIn, what you need to get those resources. Rather than spending time on unnecessary things, spend your time on the social media that can actually help you grow. Because everybody requires entertainment or free time, so you can't write 24 hours of the day. So when you take that free time, probably look at educational videos, job related videos, podcasts regarding that, actually looking at LinkedIn, such as educational channels in LinkedIn and things like that. Probably that is going to actually help you get to a better place, and eventually I really hope that you succeed in getting your job. Thanks for listening to this story of mine on Complete Frontend.